Today I will be talking about gun control laws, security effects of taking away guns, and the violation of the Second Amendment. So the United States of America has been a safe haven for gun owners ever since the Bill of Rights was established. The Second Amendment states, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the state of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This simple amendment has been holding this argument of to do or not to do for centuries. Policies to address gun laws are highly controversial, and it's hard to find political parties agreeing over these ideas. The concept of saying that all guns should be taken away is simply illogical, because of the threat that it would have on general, personal, and national security. Changing in the meaning of the Second Amendment and the people's rights to influence government policy and political weaponization. When the United States was first established and declared independent in 1776, it was in a time of war. During the Revolutionary War, they did not have a formal military to keep the country safe. The military was a local militia consisting of volunteered men that could have been any past profession. They felt the need to fight for their families and for their country, and just to be independent from Great Britain. These men had either owned guns from when they were part of the military in Great Britain, or they were issued imported guns from France given to them by their generals. This militia was severely ill-equipped and very small. They didn't have many people to help them. Yet with the superior war tactics of all of these past military generals in Great Britain, they were able to defend their ground and become independent. So, the history of America has highly influenced the addition of the Second Amendment. It was created in 1792 with the mindset that security of the country was needed at that point because they were in war. Now, you may think this is irrelevant today because we haven't undergone a military invasion since the Mexican-American War, but war is not the only security issue that we face every single day. Criminal attacks from our own people and violence in the cities and wherever causes people to stand up and say something. People usually take an argument or a side of the argument depending on their own logic. Pretty much the arguments are to reduce the amount of ways that you buy guns or get more security and more good guys with guns. The argument stands that if more people have guns, it does not necessarily deter any crimes from being committed. If the criminal is going to commit an act of murder, they're going to do it no matter the cost. This also applies to the fact that criminals do not get guns from their local retailer or they usually just get them through an illegal dealer or steal one from a family member or a friend. It's pretty rare that they do illegally get them. There are millions of gun owners in the U.S. Many did not have the experience of a good environment when it came to guns. So they tend to take an emotional stance on these laws, which can cloud their logical judgment. This is true for both sides. In the case that people are passionate about what they enjoy and what they think is a threat to security. The idea of people influencing law is brought up on state levels, both sides. States' local government is legally allowed to set a law as to what they think the law should be regarding obtaining guns, as long as it goes with the Second Amendment. Depending on the state's political stance, it just varies. Some states have impacted it by limiting the age or where you buy guns. The government uses social issues such as gun control to weaponize guns and to weaponize Second Amendment. They tend to over-exaggerate or shine a big light on things they believe could cause a social uproar. Gun violence is not something that can be over-exaggerated or played with. This involves American lives and our nation's safety, so that should be taken seriously. When the article titled School Shootings, Protests, and the Gun Culture in the United States, published by Susan Olczak, states that the vast majority of gun supporters are white, Christian, or religious, or uneducated men, She's using small numbers in data collection that she found from the NRA, which is just ridiculous because there's many people in the U.S. and not all of them are white or Christian or religious. Although the NRA is a large organization, she samples small numbers and makes a broad claim for most of the anti-gun controls that fit this frame. This is what the media and the government can do to distract people from the real problems that are happening inside of households, families, gangs, cities, untreated mental illness, which is a large one. Instead of blaming other things for violence and for people killing other people, we need to address the problems of society instead of addressing the one thing that they use most commonly to commit crimes. To fix some of these issues, we could maintain better street conditions, helping the police instead of defunding them. We could give family services, single mothers, single fathers, and just help the mentally ill become more stable. So in all, it is the person that is the problem, not the object. Because a gun cannot just grow legs and shoot people. They could use knives, they could use whatever else they wanted to. Violence would still be a problem, even with the banning of all gun sales. Legal markets would rise, people would be left defenseless, and the changing of a historical document would affect our country in the way that just would not make our problems go away. So trying to keep our society safe, helping our people make the right choices to benefit their states, and keeping the media tamed, we could take a step closer in the direction of keeping our rights. My sources were The Necropolitics of Liberty, Sovereignty, Fantasy in the United States, published by Young A.T. Susan Olzak published School Shootings, Protests, and the Gun Culture in the United States. Smith J. and Spiegler J. Published Explaining Gun Deaths, Gun Control, Mental Illness, and Policymaking in the United States. Kress L.D. published An Armed Community, The Origins and Meaning of the Right to Bear Arms. Thank you.